Hello and welcome to Middlesex Moments. My name is Cheryl Dumont-Smith. I'm the new Associate Dean of Development here at Middlesex Community College, and I'm filling in today for Dr. Anaerobic. Around the table this morning, we have a very interesting group. There's 4 folks who are going to be talking about environmental issues here on the campus and some of the exciting things that are going to be going on in the next week. So I'm going to do a quick introduction. We have Christine MxcC, who's the coordinator of the Environmental Sciences program. We have Betty Riedinger, who is the lab supervisor, among other things, in the science division. We have Jason Wright, a student from East Hampton, Connecticut, who's in his first year at the college and is part of a club here on campus that we'll talk more about. And we have Becca Roy, who is from Middletown, and she is the president of the environmental club here at Middlesex. Okay, so to start it off, my first question that I have, and maybe many others will have as they listen, what is sustainability?
Well, that's sometimes difficult to sum up neatly in a very short definition. There are a lot of definitions out there. You can Google sustainability and come up with a lot of different things. The essence of it is, it really usually boils down to meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their needs. And that's really a big definition. But what it's really about is that in all of our actions, we make sure that we protect the environment and the ability of the environment to sustain us. I think that's really what it's about. Because we can keep taking and taking and taking from the environment through all of the things that we do, and a lot of the things we do on campus certainly have environmental impacts, but ultimately if we take too much, then there won't be any of those resources for the future. So I don't know if the students maybe have some thoughts about what sustainability means to them.
Oh, I mean, I liked your definition a lot. I think it's just a matter of what Christine was saying was conserving our resources so that they still exist for us in the best condition possible. We leave such a large impact on the planet and we don't realize it. And sustainability is a movement, and I think that's what I'd like to include. It's a movement to realize our impact and realize a chance to kind of lower our impact so that others can have what we've had.
So when did this whole movement of sustainability become an important issue on the Middlesex campus?
It really dates back quite a few years. The campus started out with a green team, I believe is what it was called, with just a group of mainly faculty and staff who just were really interested in making sure that we were as green as possible. But more recently it evolved into a sustainability team, and we have just the last 2 years gotten involved in the President's Climate Commitment, which is a new focus for us on campus to make sure that our actions ultimately don't contribute to climate change.
Well, we're going to take a break for just a moment, and then we're going to come back and talk about a number of things that are going to be going on in the next week to bring this to the campus in a more real way. Thank you. Okay, we're back talking about the issue of sustainability and the many things that are going on at the Middlesex Community College campus. This is Cheryl Dumont-Smith. What I'd like to do is turn this over now to Christine MxcC to talk about the whole topic and what we're going to be doing in the next couple of weeks to celebrate.
Yeah, so the next week is Earth Week, which is the week on campus that we really bring a lot of attention to environmental issues, and it's based around Earth Day, which next week is April 22nd. That's a global phenomenon. It dates back to 1970, where people celebrate Earth Day in many different ways. We have a history of Earth Week activities on campus over multiple days. That go back to the days of the Green Team. But more recently, in the last couple of years, we have a new environmental club, and the students have taken on the responsibility of planning Earth Week activities. So they really are in charge of making Earth Week happen now for us on campus. So we have our 2 students from the environmental club who can talk more about what we're doing.
So maybe first you'd like to tell us exactly what the environmental club does and how many students are in it and how that works, and then we can have Jason talk about some of the specifics with Earth Week.
Sure. Our club has probably about 10 really committed members who meet with us weekly. But we have many other supporters who join us for events as well. And what we really focus on is not only creating an awareness for the need to better take care of our environment here at MxcC, but outside when they leave the classroom as well. Currently, some of the projects we're working on include our trail in the back. We're hoping to connect our trail to the Metabesit as a way to open up our campus more to the public and to really give them further connect students to the environment and potentially give them options so that they are encouraged to stay on campus as opposed to wasting gas going home and then coming back. We're also placing a heavy emphasis on recycling, and right now we have one member of our club who is currently going through and making sheets on what to recycle, what not to, because there's such a lack of understanding about what we do need to recycle. Mm-hmm. And we also do a lot of partnerships with Wesleyan as well. And last year we worked on the climate conference. So that was wonderful. It gave us an opportunity to really bring some phenomenal speakers to the community and really talk about solutions to climate change, which is something that we don't really hear about in the media.
Great. So Jason, tell us about Earth Week and some of the things you have planned.
Wednesday we're going to be doing flipping free stuff. Monday and Tuesday is going to be a drop-off for that. Monday is going to be in the upper lot.
Mm-hmm. Upper parking lot.
Parking lot. There's going to be a U-Haul up there. And drop off any gently used items, just not like bedding or mattresses or anything like that. Tuesday, the U-Haul is going to be in the lower parking lot. And then Wednesday from 10:30 to 3, you can come pick up anything that you want.
I have to tell you, I was really excited to get the flyer this morning because I have so much electronic equipment around my home and I don't know what to do with it and I don't want to throw it in the trash. So I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so exciting. Mm-hmm. So people can actually bring their electronics.
Oh, yes.
Use computers and televisions and all kinds of things and bring it to campus and you're going to recycle it for them.
Well, there's a separate event.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So, Betty, did you want to talk about...
No, well, we have the e-cycling event. That's on Thursday, correct?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that Jason is talking about is flipping free stuff where the campus drop off items for students to come in and take for free.
Oh.
So they get a free shopping day. So we're dropping off on Monday and Tuesday, and on Wednesday they get to go shopping.
Mm-hmm. And so what are some of the things that students might really like to see there so they can go free shopping? What's been popular?
Things for their children, clothing items, anything that you have around the house that you might want to that you're not using anymore. Like, you know, you might have older children mm-hmm. that have had bicycles or, you know, mm-hmm. from soup to nuts, mm-hmm. basically. Knickknacks from your house that you're not using anymore, books.
So yeah, a lot of interesting material that came in last year. I think of it kind of like as a one-day Goodwill. Mm-hmm. So there was a array of stuff that students came in and even just looked at for projects. We have a lot of inventors on campus and they're like, oh, I could use this piece for that, and mm-hmm. that might go well with this art project I'm working on. So mm-hmm. there was something for everyone.
Mm-hmm. If you do have functional electronic equipment that could be reused, then it would be appropriate to bring it for flipping free stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, mm-hmm. And then if it's electronics that are really, you know, out of date and are just to be discarded, then we have the e-cycling on Thursday from 10 to 3, and that's where we have a company called Green Monster comes in and they take away the electronic waste and properly dispose of it.
Okay. All right.
We do also have, I should add, on Friday we have a tree planting, the President's Orchard. We plant every Earth Week. We add to that. It's not really much of an orchard yet, but the plan is for a fruit and nut orchard to develop over the years. And that was started by President Anna when she first came to our campus, I think 3 years ago. So we'll be adding to that orchard on Friday next week, the 24th, which is Arbor Day.
Well, it sounds like a busy week, and it mm-hmm. sounds like a week where people who may be listening to this program can even become involved. It's mm-hmm. not just for the students or the people who work here at Middlesex.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. It's definitely open to the public. We certainly encourage the community to come and make donations for the Flip and Free stuff. That will benefit our students, many of whom are on a tight budget. They were so excited when we did it last year for the first time, and they were walking by the tables, and they were really puzzled by it and kept asking, this is all free? And they just didn't really believe it at first, and then, swept up armloads of stuff, and it was really very popular. So it's a great way for people to reuse or to make sure that their things are reused and well used.
And so how many, in terms of the Earth Week activities, how many students are actually participating? Is it just students from your club, or do you have others that get involved?
Well, Professor Witowski always gives incentives to her class to join us, and so they often will come to events, and they're great. They do a really great job, and it's always nice to have them along. I don't know how many students have signed up for
quite a few.
Courses. Oh,
yes,
good.
Yes.
Good.
So we always get students who are enrolled in the environmental science classes to volunteer. And because the club isn't very large and they can't quite handle all of the volunteer time slots, so we fill in with also faculty and staff as well, anybody who wants to help out.
Yeah, one of the questions I had earlier we didn't get to was how all of this is woven into the curriculum here, and how it becomes part of the everyday learning experience for students.
Well, it's certainly a part of our curriculum in the form of the environmental science program, where students can major in environmental science. But really the way that it affects students more broadly is that many students will take the environmental science course, the introductory course, as a science requirement. So they may never take another environmental course, but they'll have that one and have the opportunity to get involved in these many activities that we're doing. And ultimately, our goal is to infuse as much of this into the curriculum in many different areas. We have a sustainable living course, for example, and we're really working on making sure that these topics really span the whole curriculum. So it's not just in one science class or one philosophy class that people are exposed to this. And we certainly try to make sure that it's a part of campus life, so people see these things happening. And have talks that they can go to. We should mention too that there's a talk on Earth Day at 11 next week, April 22nd, which is it's called Nature's Way: Native Wisdom for Living in Balance with the Earth, and it's a presentation by a Native American author, Ed McGaw, who is also known as Eagle Man. So we do also
so
bring
that's
in
going
speakers.
to be right here on campus?
On campus, yeah, and that's
Okay.
at 11 in Chapman Hall, room 605, and these talks are always open to the public as well.
Okay. So I know two of the other things that we do want to make sure we get to today are the whole topic of composting, and then the whole topic of the waste audit, which is kind of a big thing. I don't know how they fit into this particular segment with Earth Week, if we want to start talking about them now or...
Yeah.
Yep. On Tuesday we're doing the waste audit here, and we're going to combine that with a campus cleanup. So we're going to have students out the night before. We have the custodial staff gather up all of the trash that we have here on campus. The trash and the recycling bins are segregated by building. So we have 4 buildings, and we actually take the trash and separate it and weigh it to see how we're doing as far as what is going into the trash that shouldn't be going into the trash, such as recyclables, because people are not aware of what should be going into the recycling bin and what should be going into the trash bin. Is basically what we're looking at. And are they putting paper in the trash? Are they putting paper in the recycling where they should be putting it? And we keep a running tally every year so we can see if we're making any headway with, teaching people where the recycling is supposed to be going.
Mm-hmm. And how many years have you been doing the waste audit?
We've been doing it for 3 years now.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is a very interesting topic, and I don't know how many volunteers you have for that particular project. But maybe we'll go into that a little more in our next segment. I think we're going to take a break now.
All right.
Thank you. Well, hello again. This is Cheryl Dumont Smith from Middlesex Community College, and we're here talking with a group about the issue of sustainability and some of the exciting projects that are going to be going on in the next few weeks here on campus to celebrate and educate all of us about sustainability. So we started in the last segment talking about the waste audit, and I guess I would like to just go back to that again because for some reason it's fascinating to me, and I'm thinking, who wants to jump into the trash barrels and find out what's there? How long has the trash been there? Is it the trash for the week? Or how long has, when the audit occurs?
No, we only, when the audit occurs, we only do the trash for the previous day.
Okay.
So, no, we're not collecting trash for a week. That would be hard to do. It is especially hard even with the night before because people eat here and we were going through the trash that people were eating and of course a lot of the food trash, anything that has food on it you can't put in recycling. But we are looking to make people more aware of what should go in the recycling and what should go in the trash. So us separating this all out has real value in the end, and we can use that. We have been seeing a steady increase of people knowing where the recycling should go. So it's a good trend.
One of the questions I have just to teach myself is aluminum foil. Is that something that should go into the recycle bin, or yes?
Yes, as long as it doesn't have any food stuck on it.
Okay.
Okay. Aluminum foil will go in there. So we separate it out into office paper, magazines, newspapers, cardboard, cans and bottles, and that's in the recycling. In the trash, we have compostables that shouldn't be in the trash, and general rubbish, recyclables in the trash, and then we weigh the total trash. So we have an idea of what percentage of all of these things are in our trash and recycling. It's very interesting to see which buildings do better and or who is doing better, and in a yearly trend hopefully we'll have better data the more we do it.
Is this something that people from the general public can either participate in, or is there some kind of presentation when you talk about it after, or how would that data that you've collected be shared?
We did share it with the college community, the professors and the people that work here, but we haven't shared it, I don't think, with the students yet. We just wanted to get some data. It's only been 3 years, so we wanted to get some data to be able to share it.
Okay. So you need to build up a few more years of, okay.
We are also working with the Middletown Recycling Coordinator, Kim O'Rourke. She's actually come and helped us in the past, and she'll be here this year. And she's very expert on what should be recycled, and so she's a part of that. And so I think in the future we may work with her in terms of how to use these data and share the data more broadly.
Right. Middletown is working towards being a zero waste community, and originally I went to do the waste audit at the town hall, and that's how I learned how to do this and brought that here to Middlesex. And that was where the interest started.
It's probably worth mentioning that this trash audit means literally people with gloves on picking through the trash and sorting into piles on tarps out on the lawn. It's messy and smelly. One year we had an abundance of pudding cups in the trash. Somebody went crazy with pudding the day before. So you never know what you'll find. It's very fun. But the students who do it are not all, strictly speaking, volunteers. I use my environmental science class. It's an activity that's part of the class, so we schedule it at a time when the class meets so that the students come out and do the work. I do give an option for some students who really are just too grossed out to do it. The other half of the class can do a campus cleanup, so half the class spreads out with trash bags and gloves and picks up trash. So not everybody has to do the trash sorting, but there's always enough students who want to, so it's a fun activity.
One more question I have as a member of the general public. In our town, which is Bristol, we combine all of the recycling materials into one container. So there was a time when they were separated by cans, And I always wonder, what do they do once they pick that up and everything's together? How does it have to be resorted again, or it does
By machines.
by machines?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So it's resorted by machines and then it's sent off to be recycled in other places. Okay,
Yep.
thank you.
And compliance with recycling is better when it's single stream recycling. You know, people are more apt to recycle if they don't have to think about separating it.
Okay.
So the numbers are always better for communities that adopt that.
Oh, okay. So I think this is also a good segue as we talk about the waste audit into this whole proposal about composting that Jason is talking about.
Is that we're looking into doing composting and organics recycling here on campus. From last year's waste audit, ran the numbers, and it's about a half ounce of compostable material per student per day is put into this waste stream here on campus, and it comes out to over 2.5 tons a semester of compostable material that, if sent off to do what's called anaerobic digestion, which is where bacteria break it down in the absence of oxygen, can generate over 200 cubic meters of biogas per semester, which can be used for electricity, to fuel cars, create natural gas, all that kind of stuff, and generate about a ton of compost as well, which has numerous uses, not just for as a fertilizer.
Wow, yes. I always thought of it as a fertilizer, but you're saying there's lots of other uses as well.
Yes,
Okay.
one big ones that we just explored in a recent field trip with Professor Wachowski's class was using it as a remediation for sites that have been contaminated with solvents or paints or gasolines and that kind of stuff, and it can do a lot of other stuff as well, like being a landfill cap, things like that.
So we're talking about this as something that you're proposing to bring to Middlesex, correct? So
correct.
what would that involve? How does that happen? The process?
There's a couple of different committees that have to go through here on campus, and then after they approve it, it would go to the president, who would have the final approval.
And of course, budget is an issue right now. The community college system is facing very severe budget cuts. So any kind of proposal that comes with a price tag is going to be difficult, but we're hoping that we can find a way, because it isn't terribly expensive to do. We brought in a speaker to one of the recent meetings, or Jason brought in a speaker to a recent club meeting to tell us about having our compost picked up and taken to a composting facility. Other campuses do this. For example, Wesleyan has a service where they do some composting on campus, but they also have some of it taken to a facility for industrial composting.
Okay, so I think one of the things we were talking about during break was maybe taking a few moments to go day by day over the activities that are planned here for Earth Week, so people can participate.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Becca, as the president of the club, do you want to review the activities?
Certainly. So on Monday, April 20th, from 10:30 to 2:30, we'll have drop-offs for flippin' free stuff. So you can bring your household items you want to give away in the upper lot at Middlesex, and we're going to be collecting them in the U-Haul van. And then on Tuesday we'll have the same thing as well. From 9 to noon, if you would like to get slightly dirty and get into the trash, we do have our waste audit from 9 to noon, and we'd love to have you. And there's also included with a picnic.
Yes, we'll be doing a campus cleanup, just walking around campus with trash bags, and then we'll also have a picnic as well.
I didn't know about the food.
The food has nothing to do with the waste audit, though. Let's separate those two things out. Coming from two different places.
Yes, absolutely.
On Wednesday, we'll actually have the Flippin' Free Stuff event. You're more than welcome to join us or to volunteer. That'll go on from 10:30 to 3, so come and shop or come and help us out. And at 11, we have the talk with Native American author Ed McGaw, who will talk about sustainable living and also Native American culture. On Thursday, we have our electronics audit, and on Friday, again, please join us for the presidential orchard tree planting.
Okay.
Thank you.
So I think we're almost at our the end of our time today, but you did want to mention a film opportunity?
Yes, the club also is sponsoring a film coming up on Monday, May 4th at 7 p.m. in Chapman Hall. This is part of a new environmental film series in Middletown that's co-sponsored by several community organizations, including the Connecticut River Coastal Conservation District, our environmental club, the Rockfall Foundation, and Wesleyan University. So we're co-sponsoring a series of films, 2 films per semester. And so this is the next one, May 4th. It's called Watershed, and it's all about the water issues out west in particular, which is very relevant now with the drought situation. And Becca has been working on developing a pledge that we'll be introducing at this film that involves reducing our intake of foods that come from this drought-ravaged area.
Okay. Well, I think it's time for us to say goodbye for now. Our Middlesex Moments has been fun today, and we appreciate all of the wonderful things that the staff and the students are doing to bring Earth Day and Earth Week to the Middlesex Community College campus. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.